trying to make some repairs on the greenhouse. As you can see in some of the footage here, the bottoms of them are completely rotted. Well, we're out here today trying to unbury the greenhouse. After 6 years of being in this spot, this little hillside that we built it into has slowly sloughed off and filled in behind the backside of the greenhouse. And I started with a 12-inch board down there along the back edge of the greenhouse. Now that board has been completely covered with dirt and mud from just all the years of the slope slipping away and all that disturbed soil coming down into the hole there. So we're trying to make some repairs on the greenhouse due to the fact that the covering is all old and worn out, and the fact that that board down there is completely rotten. This whole thing just keeps getting bigger as we go here. Take a look at this. Boards are all rotten, the screws are pulling out, and consequently the whole side here is falling off the end of the greenhouse. Yeah, see that? There's not 12 inches there anymore. Maybe 8. And that's why this board's all kicking out and falling apart. So we'll have to pull the plastic off and just lift these hoops right up out of the pipe that it's in. So what we're going to do next is we're going to cut the plastic off. Alright, so as you can see, this project quickly went from simply replacing some rotten boards to a full-blown remodel of our greenhouse. And so we ended up completely digging out the boxes, removing the hoops after we took the plastic off. And we needed to remove the plastic and the hoops so that we could replace those boards anyway. And then on top of it, we discovered that our end walls, where the doorways are on the ends of the greenhouse, were also rotten. And so we ended up removing those and rebuilding them. As you can see in some of the footage here, the bottoms of them are completely rotted off. And so we felt like it was a good time just to start from scratch and do it over. And then on top of it, we had so much water building up on the back side of the greenhouse where those boards were rotten that we decided to put a drain in the ground. And so I laid out some drain cloth and some gravel and as well a perforated drain pipe. And we built a drain along the back edge of the greenhouse, which has worked really well for removing water from back there. So as you can see from the footage, we're putting the cloth down, laying the pipe in, and preparing the ground for building the back wall of the greenhouse. Alright, so once we got the drain installed, and after much debate and research, I finally settled on a cinder block wall as the back wall of the greenhouse. And the reason I picked this is because I felt like if I just put boards in there, it was going to do the same thing as it did before. So I went full blown on a cinder block wall, laid down a cinder block footing, went 3 blocks high, filled in with cement, and made this thing as stout as I thought I should make it to hold that mud hill up behind it. So as you can see, I removed some rotten boards and ended up with a brick wall. But it's working out really well. Well, after laying all those cinder blocks, which was a first time for me, we got back to assembling the greenhouse once again, which was pretty exciting to be finally on the home stretch. And that simply involved just putting the hoops back up, and as you can see, I figured out a way to mount them in the top of the block wall.
All right, so here we are with the hoops up, ready to put the plastic on. And this time around, I had one thing I wanted on my greenhouse that I didn't have before, and that was the ability to roll up at least one side of the greenhouse to keep it a little bit cooler in there.
Okay guys, we have finally come to the end of our greenhouse project here, and turned out pretty good. We got our roll-up side all finished. This is going to be pretty handy because in the summertime it gets really hot in the greenhouse and it becomes sort of impossible to grow certain things in there because it's too hot. So now we'll be able to ventilate it. So what we did was we got some PVC pipe here, and we glued a bunch of pieces together to make the full length. Put an elbow on the end and a handle so we can have something to help roll it up with. And it'll come down and sit down here, and then when we want to ventilate the greenhouse, we just roll it up. We've got a bungee cord hooked in over here, and so we just strap it up. We got 3 of them going down the length, and then as a precautionary measure, we put some wire in here because the dog's likely to want to jump inside there. So that should stop him from doing that. That's the last step in making the greenhouse.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching our greenhouse rebuild. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe for more growing, creating, and sipping videos. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like this video here.